Hot 97, we have Faith Evans. It's so good to see you. Last time I saw you was,
see you.
2 years ago. I came to your hotel, and we were talking about this album, and it was the first stages of putting this whole album together, and now it's here, The King and I. So it comes out in May.
May 19th.
So that's 2 days before Big's birthday?
Yes. It wasn't planned that way in
Really?
terms of I want to put it out.
Yeah.
I was actually telling people, and my goal initially was for it to come out in 2016. But I wasn't done recording. I didn't get all the last song I got done was the song with Lil' Kim, which was highly important to me.
Absolutely.
Which I'm sure we'll talk more about.
Yeah.
But I'm like, and then I'm like, I want to have a plan. I don't want to just, now we got the music and let's put it out in a month or two. No, I want to do these types of things and have a minute to get the word out there about it so people are expecting it and know it's coming.
Were there any holdbacks to put the album together? Like, did you have to get a lot of clearances and...
No clearances other than, samples that were used in Big's original music, but I did the deal with the people who own the masters, who acquired the masters.
Right.
So if they were okay, they wanted to go ahead with it. That was all I really had to do was do a deal with them.
That's so smooth. That's nice. I feel like a lot of times nowadays, people have such a hard time trying to get things together. This is obviously meant to be. You know what I mean?
It was definitely meant to be.
God. So let's talk about this Kim record. 2 years ago, we were talking about how you were in a place of forgiveness. You've moved on. Things are in the past. And now you guys have a song together.
Yes.
Okay, so did you contact her? Did Kim contact you? How did this happen?
Well, actually, when we were, when we were in rehearsals before the Bad Boy tour started,
right?
Before those first few shows we did at Barclays in May of last year, she was at rehearsal, and I was, over there, like, I knew I wanted her to be on the album, so I just went up. I always speak to her when I see her.
Yeah.
But I actually went and started a conversation. And, talking to her about the baby and how she doing. And I was like, I'm doing this duet album, told her the project.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I really, really want you to be on it. Like, please,
Right.
I was hoping, with my fingers crossed, like, please. She's like, of course.
I could hear
her. And so I was like, okay, thank you. But, I don't have the record yet. But, we ended up being on the road on the tour. And about halfway through the tour, I had the song that I knew I needed her to be on, and I went to her and said, I got the song, and I told her, I was like, I want you to talk about how you felt about Big, like really how you, talk about your love for him, and because the song is, simply about missing him. So, and I think that, beyond the fact that our fans have been waiting for something like this, and beyond the fact that I know Big is proud that it is happening, I just think it's important to be real and to be honest. I mean, not only did my problems or issues with her or any other woman pertaining to him, they went out the window when he passed away, as far as I'm concerned.
Really? That's beautiful.
I mean,
though.
there was no reason for me to
hold on.
Right. And aside from that fact, I think it's important to show to people, like, it's mature to, I mean, not only be on a record, because a lot of people are like, ooh, that takes and I'm like, whatever it was, even if I still felt away, which I don't, it was so long ago. Like, I would feel like it would be really corny. I look real corny to be, a 20-year grudge over someone that isn't even here anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that makes 0 sense.
It doesn't.
And $0 at the same time. Okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was important to show that maturity and take it to the next step of, it ain't got to be about, oh, we coming together. It's like, talk about your love for him. You loved him. She's talking about kissing him and all of that.
Oh my gosh.
She did kiss him before, so I mean.
Was that awkward for you at all to hear that? Or were you like,
no, it's real.
Yeah.
I mean,
I love you.
I
love you.
I'm just saying, though, you don't think in all these 20 plus years, that, if I were to think about things like that, I probably would have already done that. So it's not like, it's real to me.
Wow.
And so I think that, people will appreciate it for all of those reasons because, I wanted her to talk about it.
I think that's so fair. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's honest. Like you said, it's like you're hearing her side too. It's not just your side. And I think that's so important as women because, you know, you could have easily not done this record with her. You guys could have just forever not, you just be cordial.
Ironically enough, I tried to work with her a few albums ago.
Wow.
It just didn't happen. But, you know, obviously, you know, God knows what he's doing. And I never knew it would be on the project with me and Big that I actually get on the song. But that's just, you know, that's just how God works.
Wow. This is so meant to be.
Yeah.
This is everything. 2 days before Big's birthday, this is everything.
It is. I'm excited.
What do you feel is so different about this album?
Oh, wow. What's different about this album is the fact, well, first of all, me and Big never recorded together when he was alive. I was on, you know, like the remix, One More
Right.
Chance, and did a few hums and ad-libs on a few songs of his. But, you know, back then, typically, Puff would I'll be in the studio doing something, and he's got another session. He'll be like, yo, Faith, I need you to come put a hook on here or put a
Right.
bridge. So I wasn't in the studio with Big working on any of those songs.
Really?
I never recorded like with him in the studio. We were I had my thing going on.
Right.
You know, he had his thing going on. But just in the fact that I was able to pull it off, number one, is different that I'm doing a album that is me and Big.
Yeah.
I never, you know, I thought it would be a dope idea once when I heard Natalie Cole's Incomparable.
Yeah.
That was my last album, in case you want to know. Natalie Cole's Unforgettable.
Yeah.
And I told Ms. Wallace, that would be really dope if I could do something like that one day. But just saying it, like, that was a great idea that she, you know,
Yeah.
for her to do that. And then, you know, that was like 15, 16 years ago. I never moved on it. I just said it to her. That would be nice. And then my
Wow.
attorney reminded me a few years ago of the idea and was like, we should take a meeting with the people who acquired the masters. I'm sure they would be interested. And they were.
Oh my gosh.
And, you know, so it's not, you know, it's just, I'm still amazed at, you know, how God worked it out.
Absolutely.
And it was just so seamless, and the creative process, just everything just came together.
Yeah.
So I know that, you know, I know Big Spirit, you know, I know he's proud. I know his blessing is on it. So yeah, I look forward to seeing how
Yes.
people feel about it.
So beautiful. It's just to see everything come around, right?
Yeah.
It's such a blessing. After seeing everything in the industry for so long, what are your thoughts when you do see Nicki Minaj and Remy Ma going back and forth, being that you've been in your fair share of, you know, rap situations? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, you said when I hear it, when I hear them, I
Yeah.
usually rewind it to see, you know, oh, did she say what I think she said? Oh, that
Yeah.
was slick. Oh, I mean, but in looking at it from the perspective of like in the history of hip hop,
Right.
rap kind of, I mean, battle rapping
Yeah.
kind of being a spectator sport
Yeah.
type of thing. I mean, you know, it's cool.
Yeah.
I can't say, oh, you shouldn't do that. But
Right.
I don't even know what motivated it in the first place.
Right.
You know, I don't know either one of them personally. I respect both of them as artists. I mean, but I can't lie and say I'm not like everybody else waiting to hear what somebody going to say back.
Yeah. It's nice
But
in
I'm
hip-hop.
entertained by it. I am.
Absolutely.
You know, that's without any bias or personal feelings
Yeah.
toward one person or the next.
I think it's so important also in hip hop that it's okay to battle. It's fine.
Yeah,
like,
it
you know
is.
what I mean? As long as it stays on the record, which it sounds like it's staying on the record. And it's nice that I love seeing we're strong women, and it's okay. We could battle. We could go bars for bars.
Right.
It's all right. You know, obviously there's other times where things just go too far. You know, I never had a chance to talk to you about it. When you were caught in the situation, even though you weren't personally involved and you heard your name being thrown around between Big and Pac, what was your first initial thought when you heard you being dragged into it?
My first thought was I need to talk to Big.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we were separated.
Yeah.
I was doing work on the West Coast to not be around the drama of what was probably going on the Bad Boy tour.
Right.
You know, and I was like, I definitely didn't want him to get the wrong idea, although I felt in my heart that he knows me better than that. But
Right.
it caught me out of nowhere. So I know it would have caught him. It caught him out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be the one to tell him what actually happened, because I did tell him when I met Pac. I did
Yeah.
tell him that he wanted me to record with him.
Yeah.
And he did not tell me not to do it either. You know what I mean? And had he, then I would not have. But, you know, it happened so fast and caught me off guard. But that was my first feeling outside of anger
And hurt.
and shock. You know, I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I got to talk to Big.
Yeah. You know, you have a record with Snoop, and it's crazy. You know, being such a fan of music, to see how this all comes around, you know, was it hard to start these relationships again, friendships, after everything happened? Or was it just like, hey, you know, we're going to make songs together and move on and let the past be the past? Like, how did that conversation even happen?
I think the only situation with regard to what you're speaking
Yeah.
about is as far as which and in the case with Kim, I think it's more now. It's a refreshed relationship,
Yeah.
if anything, because we didn't really have one before. But I've always had a great relationship with everybody that's on the project. Snoop in particular has been one of the people from day one who's always treated us with love. I mean,
That's
before,
beautiful.
during, and after the
The chaos.
purported
Yes.
beef.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
Snoop has always, and I'm pretty sure mostly everybody that I know that's, you know, in the industry can agree, he's just a cool guy.
Yeah.
He's always been very neutral in terms with regard to that situation.
Yeah.
As far as how
Yes.
he dealt with us. And I've actually called him to do stuff for me before when I was independent. He always said yes, and he always did it. And never asked me to return the favor. Until,
Wow.
I mean, not yet. I had to remind him, like, you know, you never, you know, he's like, okay, well, just do a hook for my new artist.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he's just super cool. So I didn't find it difficult to get anybody to be a part of it. There were actually people who I wanted to be a part of it, but for whatever reason in time, it just didn't happen in the time that I was working on the album. And people that also reached out that I know wanted to be a part of the album.
Wow.
But it just, you know, it just came together. And when I was done, you know, I'm like, I feel like I got enough music now. I don't want to just keep trying to do something and spending
Right.
up a budget just because,
Exactly.
you know, we can still work together. Maybe I'll be able to do another one or a longer version with some extra songs on it, you know.
Yeah. Is everyone really excited for this album? Like, I feel like everyone's going to be excited to finally see this actually happen.
So far, it seems like it.
Yeah.
I mean, this week, the last couple of weeks, I've been doing started my
Right.
promo run with, with the 2 singles that we have out, and just to kind of start telling people the album's coming. We just put out the artwork,
Yeah.
the cover, the album cover artwork, and, it seems to be a pretty good response. It seems to be a little buzz.
Yeah.
It seemed like
It's
It seemed like
exciting.
me and Big might be popping.
Yeah,
on
listen. This is such a great time. It's so funny because, at times we hear, the younger fans, they might know, it's so crazy. Like, they'll look at Stevie J from Love and Hip Hop and then they'll be like, oh, Faith Evans, right? And they don't realize the history of that. You and Stevie J and Bad Boy in general, you guys have history for X amount of years. So to see you guys being cool or whatever, that's not weird to like someone like me, because we know. But for other people, do you think what is your relationship with Stevie J? Are you guys together? Or is that just what we see on the TV?
Oh no, we did date, but
Yeah.
we're not anymore.
Yeah.
But we're always gonna be great friends.
But you guys, your relationship started as a friendship.
Oh, always.
Years.
I never in a million years imagined I would ever date him. That was no. I mean,
Not
not,
in a
like
bad
that.
way.
But I know
Yeah.
the Stevie outside of the TV show. Which
Right.
don't get me wrong. I don't think that's necessarily fake.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I love you.
Although it's sometimes things have to be produced and laid out in
Absolutely.
a certain way, but. At the same time, I do know the good person that he is as well. I know
Yeah.
that he's a good father. I know that, we've helped each other in times where either money wasn't up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's always been a very good friendship. And I've all my life had a lot of male friends, and I've never dated any of them. Just like a guy's girl,
Yeah.
And it kind of caught me by surprise to even think like, are you serious? But he, over a period of months, certainly did his share of convincing to me and people that are close to me that he was really serious about not only wanting to be with me, but being in love with me. Okay?
Yes.
I mean, and I did fall in love with him because I already had a love for him, but it just was never in a romantic sense.
Right.
But, he's charming and he's a good guy. We have great chemistry, and we actually, always make each other, we're like a,
Why not work
like
out
a comedy
then?
show.
This is so great.
Once all of those factors came into play and I really started spending time with him in that way,
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what, maybe this could work. We are friends, on one hand, you might say, well, friends could be, but I just have never done that. So but it could have worked, but it didn't.
Yeah.
But I had to know that going into it, there was a 50 chance, Got to be mature about it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go into something that I know may not go the way, although it seemed like it could.
Yeah.
And for a minute, it seemed like it was going in a good direction. But I had to be mature enough and smart enough to be like, okay, if I know I got, I'm, perceptive and I pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
And when something doesn't make sense, then, it doesn't. And I put it in my pocket, and then the other piece be in the back pocket. And eventually, you're gonna make.
Yeah,
put
right.
the puzzle together.
I love this.
And I'm like one of those people. I ain't gonna beef about stuff. I'm still enjoying the time we're spending together, and it's actually still thinking we're building a relationship, but. Once I figure it out, I'm like, okay, I got to be smart enough to be like, I
got to pull back.
I'm not gonna. I can't.
Yeah, no,
I can't do that.
You can't.
And I don't want to get to the point where I feel a way about you other than the love I have for you going into this thing before that.
Yeah.
Just as a friend. So.
And you guys are still friends.
We're gonna always be friends.
Oh, you are good.
I mean, unless somebody tell me something like
I love
that
you.
I don't know that's really whack. I mean, but I
Yeah.
know him. I accept him for who he is. I love him.
Yeah.
We still friends. He could still call me, and I'll be there for him. He know
That's
that.
so beautiful.
I love him.
So you're single right now.
I am so single.
What is the ideal man? Like, if we could put this together, this is like me putting it out in the universe. Like, does he have to be taller than you? Like, what are some mandatory requirements?
Now, I don't have a type in terms of like
Yes.
a physical attribute thing
Yeah.
so much.
Okay, so no physical.
Hopefully somebody that's a decent height, but
Yeah.
not so much, I want him to be above 6 feet or.
It's whatever, yeah.
I just like I'm a energy and somebody with a really good spirit and who loves their mother, their family.
Oh, I like
but
that.
their mom and loves God and have a good sense of humor and
Make you
likes
laugh,
music
yeah.
and to travel and.
Does he have to be in the industry?
I would prefer that he is not.
Oh, I like this.
If I
This is
could
good.
say that, I would. Because I mean, it's not like I don't really, no shade, but
Yeah.
I just.
No.
I don't know. I don't think so.
No thanks. How about younger than you?
I've done that actually. Since after my divorce,
Yes.
it was like crazy because it wasn't like my frame of thinking approaching life after divorce. Oh, I'm gonna date young dudes at
Yeah.
all. But I started to notice that it was the mad young dudes trying to holler.
Yeah.
So I was like, I never even dated mostly people my age, like
Yeah.
coming up before I was married. I was married most of my adult life, but as a teenager, I dated guys
Yeah.
a few years older than me all the time. And people, what people always say, well, them young boys got that energy and
Yeah.
stamina. And I mean, I did date a couple. I actually dated one for a couple of years.
Wow.
But I didn't get that energy and stamina that they be talking about.
Lies.
You know what I mean? So,
Lies.
But he was a great person, which
Yeah.
is probably why I did date him for, so long. I don't think I would.
Yeah.
I don't know. But if I met somebody with the energy and stamina,
I love you. I can't.
I might, do a little
Yeah.
something with them, but not for a relationship.
Yeah.
Because I'm too mature thinking, and not so much I'm too mature like on some
Right.
ego stuff, but I
Yes,
just,
absolutely.
some things just don't make sense.
And experience, you learn things from it. You know what I mean? It's wisdom at this point. Like, I know certain things. It is what it is. As far as reality TV, like, I know you've dabbled before. Are there any talks about maybe doing something now, or?
I would love to. I'm actually always pitching shows in that space. Ideas I come up with, or ideas someone might bring to me and to help them
love that.
develop.
Yeah.
But as far as my own show, I would do it, but as an EP,
Yep,
of course.
yeah. Yeah.
And as long as my things with that is I'm not about to do anything in my home. That's just something
Got it.
that I just So I would love to do something about my hustle, my grind. Like I wish I had a camera on my head all
Yes.
the time because it's just funny. You don't even. I'm like I know for a fact you don't have to have drama in the mix to have good and interesting TV. You know
I
what I
would
mean?
love
Because
to
some of
see
the
your
moments
life.
just in every day with
Yes.
us, me and my crazy crew or whoever it is, friends,
Yeah.
family, and fans, just little things
Yeah.
that happen. I mean, you know, I'm a walk-in sitcom. People don't really know it until, you know.
Listen,
Until they
one of
see
the
my
best,
energy and stamina.
You by far have one of the best personalities, and
Oh,
you know
thank
we
you.
see so many different stars coming here, but you've always been humble, you've always been nice, and one of the best personalities.
Thank
like
you.
by far,
And you are as well, I
Thank
must
you.
say. You're a
Thank
very,
you.
very sweet
I
person.
love seeing you. I'm so happy for your album. I'm excited to see this all come to life. Like I said, 2 years ago we saw each other, and it was just the talks. It was the beginning, and now it's here, and I'm excited for you, and I'm happy for Big. I'm happy for the legacy. You know what I
Thank you.
mean?
Thank you.
Absolutely. The King and I comes out.
May 19th, and it's available for pre-order now.
Please get it. Support the legacy. Absolutely. And support great music and a great person.
Thank you.
Of course. Thank you so much, Faith.